What does Sounds Good podcast really mean?
Music that makes you move?
Or stories that make you feel?
Or ideas that only sound good on paper until we challenge them?
I'm Abhishek,
And I'm Hana.
and this is
Sounds
Sounds Good.
good.
Hana, let me ask you, are you a early bird or a night owl?
Hi, Abhishek. Let me confess for the 1000 times in my life, I am definitely a night owl. But I'll tell you that I spent my entire life being a night owl. But I have to say that the last years I've been struggling with a bit. I am a lot into music, into creativity and creative ideas. And for me, the night has always been my flow, my inspiration, writing songs, thinking of my next business idea. And for me, now that my body is not following being a night owl, I'm trying to sleep earlier, not always succeeding, trying to wake up earlier as well, and trying to listen to my body and give this to my body. The price to pay is that I don't know if I am myself anymore. And I'm realizing that some people are drawn naturally to be early birds and some drawn naturally to be a night owl. And if I understood correctly, Abhishek, you are an early bird, right?
Since childhood, I like to sleep early and wake up early. So I am that exception which hate late night parties. But I really enjoyed early morning walk or if there are any specific events on breakfast. But Hannah, when you say you are a night owl, or I must say you're a nightingale because you also sing really well. So this habit of keeping yourself late in the night is since beginning or it has grown over the years?
Since the beginning. And I hope my parents are not listening to this podcast. Even as a kid, you need to go to bed at a certain time and etc. And I was going to bed, but I was not sleeping right away. I had so much imagination, thinking, and dreams. And the night has always been my companion to think and dream big. And this followed me my entire life. I also realized as part of work, whether in corporate or leadership, or even now for my business, I try not to think so much at night, but it's not just the music. I realized that my creative ideas for business or my next business idea now for my own business, Find Your Voice, it's also happening at night. And now I'm trying to negotiate with my mind to slow down my mind and try not to act necessarily in each idea. To be honest, Abhishek, it happened to me also that at 1 a.m. I had an idea and I needed absolutely to jump and take notes, whether on a paper or on my phone. So by the next day morning, I wouldn't forget. The challenge is that, as I told you, it's call it midlife crisis, call it my body doesn't follow my mind anymore. I'm realizing that I need to give to my body enough sleep. And the repairing sleep is what happens when you sleep before 11 p.m. So you can get some hours of really recover from your night. And this is something that I'm paying the price right now. So I'm paying the price of my creativity. I'm paying the price of being a night owl. And I'm trying sometimes to negotiate between my mind and my body. But I guess that being an early bird all the time has also some consequences. Maybe the parties you are missing, or maybe the evenings that you are leaving too soon or too early, right?
That's correct. And many a times people find me antisocial, which I am not, because no matter how late I sleep, so even if I sleep at 2, my body wakes up at 6. So that entire day I feel sleepy, but I'm unable to sleep again. And that's the reason I usually prefer to sleep early so that when my body gets up by 5:36, I'm already fresh for the day. And the other thing you mentioned, Hannah, is now your body is getting affected. But I have read a research some time back that talks about that there are certain people whose body is such that they don't get sleep early, but they could sleep late until morning. So, does this not happen to you that when you sleep late, you also get up late so that you get enough repair sleep?
Yes, definitely. Depending what late means to you. So right now, since I have my own company and I can have flexible timing, I usually wake up around 8, sometimes 9 a.m. It's difficult to sleep after that, except in the weekend. But still, I don't feel it's recovering as much as when I sleep early. And what I also realized is that with the sleeping part and with being a night owl or being an early bird is not just about creativity, it's also about how to thrive in your career, whether you are in corporate or you have your own business. I am also surrounded by a lot of colleagues, some people that show up to the office or start their day at 8 a.m. and finish at 3 p.m., and some that they would rather start at 10 a.m., like me, and finish slightly later. And the challenge I see right now in this early bird night owl is how can both let's say living style or lifestyle be rewarded and recognized and respected at work. At some point I remember I did a leadership course at Stanford. It was online and we even spoke about the hormone peaks and etc. And what does it mean early bird and night owl? And this was during COVID time, 2020. And I asked this teacher, I asked him this question and he told me, you don't have to change yourself. And maybe it's a message for everyone out there who is early bird or night owl. You don't have to spend your lifetime changing who you are. Maybe it's just about adjustments. He even recommended to me, for example, if there is an important meeting and I have a choice to set up this meeting or to set up this presentation, then I can also do it on a late morning, or I can do it at the beginning of the afternoon, because it's not just about the nature. It's about at which point of the day you are at the peak of your potential and energy to deliver. And since that day, in 2020, I realized, okay, I shouldn't spend my whole life fighting to become an early bird. Now my body doesn't follow me anymore, which is another question. But I learned that accepting who we are and compensating, maybe having a nap, or maybe waking up slightly later, or maybe adjusting when we present, when we do our biggest work during the day, when we have the flexibility, of course, this could be a solution to live better, whether we are early bird or night owls.
Hannah, you made a fantastic point that people should know themselves and accordingly they should decide how to go about their day. But if we go back in time when we were kids, we have no choice. So if we consider an night owl like you have no choice but to get up early and go to school. Most of the corporates have no choice but to be in office on time. So how one should deal with such situation where for decades one has to go through what society has set and not what one is from within.
That's a great point, and that's a great question. And maybe let me clarify one point here, Abhishek. I've always, when I need or when I have to wake up early, whether to go to school or to go to work or to take a flight, I've always done it. So being a night owl, and this is, I want to make it very clear, doesn't mean that we don't wake up in the morning. It means that we wake up because we have to, but the first few hours of the day, we are not at the peak of our potential. We are not at the peak of our competency or attention. And with this, I tried, when I have the flexibility, to do the tasks, for example, at work, on the first few hours, things that don't require a lot of thinking. Like replying to emails or doing something like this. If I don't have the choice and I have a super important meeting starting at 8, I will do it. Am I gonna be 100% of my potential? No. But this, I learned it that I am a perfectionist, so maybe 80% is already okay. So the message here that I would like to share, especially on the corporate, is that my personal learning in the corporate is that there is a need, even reading between the line, it is not said, there is a need of having both an early bird and night owl at the same time. Yes, a lot of corporate perceive colleagues or employees that go early to the office as very competent and disciplined, but they require the same people to stay late in the office. Because if you leave the office at 4 p.m., 5 p.m., it is perceived, at least in my corporate culture where I've been working, it is perceived as not working enough. And nobody is in the office at 8 a.m. to see if you started working 1 or 2 hours before. And maybe now we are jumping into this work-life balance, and we did already an episode about it. So for me, when we have to comply sometimes to the setup, but knowing ourselves, knowing where during the day we are at the max of our potential, will help us organizing our days and will help us achieve being more productive and achieving more goals, whether it's during the day or during the night. And I know that even after COVID, corporate organizations are still a bit rigid on those hours. But when people work in the home office, it is important that companies understand that in order to be result driven, when we start our day and when we finish it could be different from each one. And this is where companies can get the best result out of a lot of people out there that are either early bird or night owl. But I'm very interested to know your experience with that, Abhishek. How do you live the corporate world, and how early bird or night owl are appreciated, included, or not?
So I think over the years, what I found is it is just some form of initial impression. Whether somebody is an early bird or night owl, it doesn't make any difference in long run. If somebody is providing or giving value to an organization, then the organization won't mind even if somebody is coming late or leaving early because somebody is early to the office. So at the end or in long run, it is the output one delivers.
Absolutely, Abhishek. What matters the most is not if you are a night owl or an early bird. What matters the most is your output. We wanted through this episode to send you this message because it is important that you stay true to who you are, true to your potential, and true to your lifestyle. And you will figure it out along the way if your body needs to sleep early, to wake up early, or the other way around. This was our early bird night owl episode of podcast Sounds Good. We see you at our next episode.
Sounds Good podcast is on YouTube and Spotify.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Spotify for more episodes.
Because it
Sounds good.